evening, I'm Liyana Hassanel. Welcome to Bizworld. The Producer Price Index, PPI, which measures the cost of goods at ex-factory prices in the local economy, surged 13.2% to a new record high in October, mainly due to higher commodity prices. Chief Statistician Datuk Sri Muhammad Uzair Mahidin said the increase was mainly attributed to the mining index that surged 82.9%, driven by higher prices for petroleum and natural gas commodities. He added the increase in PPI was also supported by the agriculture, forestry and fishing index that moved up 24.8%, followed by the manufacturing index at 7.9%. The utility index registered an increase of 0.7% for electricity and gas supply index, while the water supply index recorded a marginal drop of 0.7%. Meanwhile, Malaysian manufacturers noted improved operating conditions for the second successive month in November. IHS Markit said both production levels and new orders expanded further, with the former increasing at the fastest pace for 7 months. It added that as demand improved, firms noted that pressure on capacity also intensified, which led to employment levels returning to expansion territory, albeit only marginally, for the first time since March. Manufacturers also noted sustained optimism about the year-ahead outlook, with hopes that the end of the pandemic would boost demand, further pushing confidence to the highest. The latest readings signaled that industrial production has improved and is likely to contribute positively to economic growth this year-end. Should the Omicron variant lead to a resurgence of COVID-19 infections, the hardest-hit economies will be those with lower vaccination rates, higher dependence on tourism, and lower capacity to offer additional fiscal and monetary policy support. Moody's Investor Services said if the variant affects global market risk appetite, it would cause further financial stress. Emerging markets that rely on international markets for borrowing may also face heightened refinancing risks. Backed by highly effective vaccines, high vaccination rates and extensive policy support to the private sector, advanced economies are in a better position to face the challenges compared to the emerging market countries. Moody's noted that the economic impact on emerging market countries will differ depending on a mix of government restrictions, the public's level of comfort in terms of social interactions, and governments and central banks' capacity to provide additional policy support. Tenaga Nasional Berhad, TNB, has divested 100% of its stake in its wholly owned subsidiary, TNB Power Daharki TPD, to Asia Pac Investment for a cash consideration of 228.4 million ringgit, taking TNB a step closer to transitioning towards a new energy future of low-carbon generation, consistent with its sustainability pathway and overall ESG vision. It aims to coordinate the international portfolio with the priority of renewable energy growth in the United Kingdom, Europe and Southeast Asia markets. TNB Power Daharki is the holding company of TNB Liberty Power. It owns and operates a 235-megawatt combined cycle gas turbine power plant commissioned in 2001, with a power purchase agreement expiring in September 2026. Pharmaniaga is allocating 295 million ringgit for capital expenditure in the financial year 2022. Chief Financial Officer Noraini Muhammad Ali said the Capex allocation is a jump from this year's capital expenditure of 106.9 million ringgit and would be largely for logistics and distribution.
We are looking at expansion in terms of our warehouses and a few things that we want to do in terms of digitalization, etc., etc. And for manufacturing, we will continue the heartbeat of our halal vaccines as well as insulin investment.
Meanwhile, Pharmaniaga recorded revenue of 4.1 billion ringgit in the first 9 months of this year, a twofold increase from last year. Its net profit also up to 87 million ringgit against 33.3 million ringgit last year. This is supported by its vaccine sales, as well as the growth in concession and non-concession business, as well as the private sector. And that's all the time we have for Bizworld. With that, I'm Liyana Hassanel. Thank you for watching and keep tuning in to TV3.